Hello, welcome back. Now, to start off this lesson, I'll be going through questions that some of you have posed me. Right now, so far only 2 of you have asked questions. If you do not know what I'm referring to this form which I sent to you through SLS. Now, this is one way for you to reach out to me to ask me about science questions. Now, I will send a few more of these to you over the next 2 weeks. Right? Now, please don't be shy. If you send me your questions, I will definitely provide an individual video to help you. If there are not many questions, then I'm prepared something like what I'm doing now, an answer for everyone to know. Alright? But I will not share who is the one who asked the questions, in case some of you are quite shy. So for example, as of up to today, 5 p.m., around 4 something, so far these are the pupils who have submitted their questions to me. Only 2 of you asked me some questions on forces. One of you asked me, is force the same as energy? Another asked, is there an easier way of memorizing the abiotic and biotic factors? So I'll address this one first. I'm going to teach you these 2 called mnemonic, and I'll teach you how to memorize abiotic factors. Now, when it comes to biotic factors, then we will apply that at that time. If you refer to your interactions textbook, you'll notice that there are 4 abiotic factors: light, temperature, air, and water. Remember, the words abiotic and biotic do not appear in your textbook. I'm teaching you this, so I'm teaching you to group them in 2 separate groups. Abiotic factors are factors that are non-living. Now, you will notice that in your textbook, alright, because some of you may have this question. Let's say you're looking at page 20. Page 20. Turn to page 20 of this textbook, and you talk about this part on availability of food. Now that is a factor, but that is a biotic factor because it is about living things. Okay? Food comes from living things. So that is a biotic factor. So I do not include food under these factors here. Now, if I take a look at the first letters of each of these, L, T, A, W. Now I can do something like rearrange these letters. So I rearrange them and I got this. Alright, I got Walt. Walt Disney. Okay? Alright, that's one way to remember it. I remember it by a place, by a name. Now, I can use other ways of remembering it. I can also use, for example, a sentence. What does what mean? What maybe means, will aeroplane land tonight? It can mean, who asked Lily Tan? It can mean, wicked auntie like Day-O. Now, the more ridiculous, the more crazy it sounds, the easier it is for you to remember. And the best mnemonic are not those from Mr. Long. The best one for you are those that you come up with. So in the activity below, I'd like you to come up with your own mnemonic and share it. I just have one rule for you, which is always be polite and always be respectful in a choice of words. Now, next one will be the second question. This is a very good question. One of you asked me, are forces the same as energy? So let's take a look at the differences between these 2. Now I've divided this energy and force into 2 columns, and let's examine them one at a time. What's the meaning, alright, of energy? Energy simply means it's something that allows things to move and to do work. So what does it mean? For living things, energy means energy is something that is needed for living things to grow, to live, and to reproduce. For non-living things also need energy. Non-living things need energy in order to make things work, make things move. For example, a torchlight needs chemical potential energy in order to activate it, so you get your light energy and a little bit of heat. Now, force on the other hand is something else. A force is either a push or a pull, generally speaking. Now, and we are also describing this differently as well. Energy has a unit joule to describe it. Now, and joule is in letter J. This handsome fella here, James Prescott Joule, is this British scientist who came up with this idea of energy, and that's why the unit of joule is named after him. Just like Isaac Newton, Sir Isaac Newton, is this famous British scientist who came up with the idea of gravitational force and forces, so the unit of force is named after him. Now, some interesting facts also, so you can look at the differences. Forces cannot be seen, you have learned that, but you can see their effects. As for energy, you know you can see some form of energy. The one I can see clearly will be light energy, alright? And what are different types of energy? The part I'm going to circle is the part where some of you get confused at time, okay? But they are different. Now, gravitational potential energy is not gravitational force. When something experiences gravitational force, that something will have weight. I'm experiencing gravitational force now. So if I'm sitting on a weighing machine and look at the number on the weighing machine, there will be a number, okay? Elastic potential energy is not elastic spring force. And they are all different kinds of energy, okay? And they're different kind of forces. So in short, alright, energy and force are two different things. But I understand where the confusion lies. Now, other than these words here, gravitational potential energy and gravitational force sounding similar, the other thing is this. If I were to carry something really heavy, I need a lot of energy, isn't it? But you can also say I need a lot of force in order to lift it up. Some of you pushed Mr. Long in the classroom. Remember? I was sitting on the floor and some of you tried to push me. Did you use a lot of energy? I'm sure you did. You may not want to admit it, but Mr. Long is quite heavy, you know. Alright, and therefore you would have used a lot of energy. But it is also true to say that you used a lot of force, a lot of pushing force. Now, the confusion here is these both seem to be similar, but they are not. They are similar because there is a direct relationship between energy and force. By direct, I mean that, for example, there is actually a formula. Now, the energy that is used to move something is equal to the force that is used to push at something over the distance it travels. Now, you do not have to know the formula, but you do have to know, since you may have this question about energy and force. So if I use more energy, I can therefore exert more force. If I want to step lightly into the house, tiptoe, I will try to use as little force as I can, alright? Little bit of force, then of course I will only use a little bit of energy. It's like you playing a basketball. Throwing the ball to the ground, it bounces up, you press it down again. If you press on it really hard with a lot of energy, the ball will land on the ground with a lot of force, and therefore it will bounce up really high. But if you tap the ball very lightly with just a little bit of force, and the ball will have less kinetic energy, of course you hit the ground with less energy. So they are related, but they are not the same. You cannot use them interchangeably. My last analogy for you is this. It's like Singapore dollar and Malaysian ringgit. They are both similar. They're both money. Alright? So for example, Singapore dollar, SGD, $1 is roughly approximately equals to Malaysian ringgit, RM, let's say it is 3. Alright? So if I have more Singapore dollars, SGD, let's say I now have 20 Singapore dollars, therefore I will also have more when this one has increased, sorry, handwriting is very bad. When this one increases by 20 times, this one will also increase by 20 times. This is what I mean by they are related. If one increases, the other one increases. If one decreases, the other one decreases. But they are different. I hope this lesson today helped you to better understand these two questions. The first question that was asked is there an easier way of memorizing what abiotic factors are, all the abiotic factors? I've taught you this mnemonic way. I'd like you to try it below and share your interesting mnemonic. The second thing that was asked, are forces the same as energy? And the answer is no, but they are related in some way. I hope this helped you today. I will see you in the next lesson.